Executive recruiter who's amazing at connecting people with the right career opportunities in manufacturing and operations. Deanna really knows what companies are looking for and how we're going to help out some veterans. So we're super excited to have you here today, Deanna.
Thank you.
What kind of first got you into recruiting? Like what brought that passion on? Where did that start?
Well, I'm a Marine Corps veteran myself. And after I got out of the Marines, I moved back to Ohio, where I was from, for a hot second. And I actually worked at the Sherwin-Williams corporate headquarters. And when I decided I wanted to move to a bigger city, I was moving to Chicago. And so it all kind of just fell into place that a recruiting firm owner reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want to start a paint and coatings recruiting desk out here in Chicago. Do you want to, check it out?" And so I packed up my suitcase and off to Chicago I went, started recruiting, and within the first few days, figured out that there was not enough paint and coatings companies to keep anybody busy. So somebody in my office left and had a couple of jobs with food companies, and I took over those when he left. And as they say, the rest is history. So I love recruiting. So I'm very excited to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, absolutely. What qualities of recruiting kind of draws you to it? Everyone here is a transitioning veteran, so what about the career field is so enticing to you?
It is, we get to help companies grow their senior leadership teams, hire critical, bring on critical hires. We get to help people find their dream jobs. And so when you make a match like that and you're getting the feedback like, wow, this is great. It's just very rewarding. It is a very rewarding career. And it is one that is always changing. And so it is not like you're doing the same thing every day as you do in the military, where it's, a lot of hurry up and wait. So I did a lot of that. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can't imagine being on like that very first step of somebody going into a life-changing career. We always talk about everyone finding a career in something that they love, not just the first one that comes after they get out of the military, but something that's really fulfilling and kind of balances that cup on both sides. So that'd be really cool to firsthand see that with a lot of different people.
yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit more about Red Kite. When did you join? What do you kind of what more about what you guys do? How big your team is?
So I've been recruiting for 23 years, and I'm the owner and president of Red Kite Recruiting. I started the company going on 18 years ago, and originally was in Chicago. We had an office there. I had up to like 8 employees. I recently moved to Colorado, so I'm now on the south side of Denver in the suburbs, and we all went remote. So now we're all fully remote. So I have employees in Florida, South Carolina. I have an Army wife who's in Colorado Springs. I have an ops person who in Chicago, and I have another recruiter in Ohio, or in Chicago and then Ohio, and then I have some offshore individuals as well who are in the Philippines. So we recruit in the food manufacturing space. And next week, we are officially launching our SkillBridge Select program, where I can help you guys and pair you up with my clients in the food manufacturing space. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us more about how that skill bridge is going to work and what all that includes. That's super exciting.
Yeah, we're excited. We're going to partner with you all at Seven Eagle, and right now, and especially like that jobs report came out yesterday, which is not amazing, but I think is a fantastic timing for SkillBridge interns. And so within food manufacturing, so what we do is we help food manufacturers from hiring their C-suite individuals down to production supervisors, operators, and in the plant. Maintenance is probably the hardest to fill job right now. We need maintenance mechanics, maintenance techs, maintenance managers like you wouldn't believe. And that is the one thing that I hear from my clients every day is just bring me maintenance folks, bring me maintenance folks, bring me maintenance folks. But within food manufacturing, we work at the plant level, so it's ops, engineering, maintenance. And then at corporate level, we work in quality assurance, which is the food quality. We work R&D. and the C-suite. So whether it's ops, CEOs, heads of HR, things like that. So right now there's been, significant retraction in the food industry. And so a lot of companies are trying to, save some money. And, that's just the theme that I'm hearing day in and day out. So I was a SkillBridge partner. I've actually hired a couple of SkillBridgers myself. And so when I met Jordy, I'm like, this is a great opportunity where we can start pairing up folks on a larger scale. So I want to chat with you guys, monthly and tell you about the opportunities. But so far, I mean, I just had a call today with somebody here in Denver who, companies want to hire veterans, right? They want to help those who have served. And so I think it's just going to be a really good partnership. How it's going to work, and we still are kind of a chicken or the egg, stage of the process is as we talk to my clients, we're putting them on different lists of where are their facilities. And then be able to announce that to you of like, hey, we need a maintenance manager in Denver and we need a mechanic down in North Carolina. And so we'll kind of start building out lists and putting that together. So it's either like if you are going to SkillBridge and live in the same area for, those are the folks that we can help. So it'll be too hard for us to place, folks if it's like I'm going to SkillBridge here, but then I'm planning on, moving somewhere else. So yeah, but I'm very, very excited to kick this off next week on Veterans Day.
Woohoo! What a way to celebrate veterans like on Veterans Day. I
Yeah.
feel like all of the qualities you're looking for to veterans is an amazing first stop, whether it's maintenance or the C-suite, a lot of these people have been in the military for over 20 years. So they have all of that leadership experience that's needed. Are there going to be opportunities all over the United States?
Yeah, so we only work nationwide. And so we've done a little couple things in Canada, but that's a one-off. And I started Red Kite 2008, like 6 years ago. I joined another company called Sanford Rose and Associates. So we're essentially a franchise of Sanford Rose. So everyone keeps their same names, and we have shared services in like HR, IT, like, they help with like payroll, things like that. So I was the 95th company to join. They're all recruiting firms. Now we have 225. So as we get this rolling, and the other SRA recruiting firm owners. They work in every industry you can imagine. So we're hoping to get this to a bigger level where it could be, if through Seven Eagle, working with other recruiting firms and helping to get introduced to those industries as well. So it won't just be food, it could be cybersecurity, it could be construction, it could be anything. So as we got kind of get it kicked off, I already talked to some of the leaders at SRA, and they're like, once you kind of have this worked out, let us know. So I'm starting to reach out some of my other recruiting firm owners who can help introduce you to their clients, as well as I think that there's a lot of opportunities in recruiting. The skill bridgers that I've hired came on as recruiters. And so, yeah, so it might be within recruiting and it might be within food. So I'd love to answer any questions on, what people are interested in and what it looks like either day to day in recruiting or day to day within the food manufacturing world.
Yeah, absolutely. That was my next question, and was whether if you're going to open it up to other career fields or not. So thank you for answering that because we have such a broad range of
Right.
different things that people want to do in here. So I'm
Yeah.
sure every job you have will probably have somebody for it just because we have so many people that want to do different things.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, what made you really want to start up the SkillBridge program after 18 years of owning it? What kind of led this project?
Well, I ended up talking to Jordy just by chance, and when he told me about it, I was like, wow, I actually was a SkillBridge partner. I think I still am technically a SkillBridge partner. But I said, this, especially with maintenance folks, I'm like, my clients, like, I mean, I can't explain how hard it is to find some of these maintenance folks. They're trying to automate and they're trying to use AI, but we actually do a lot within the meat industry. And so meat manufacturers, right? They slaughter animals, they grow and slaughter animals, and then in the plants they get processed. And the hard part about that is that you can't automate, like, when a cow comes in, every cow carries their fat in different spots. Every animal is really built differently, just like humans. And so a lot of this stuff still needs to be done by hand, and there's just very, very little room for automation there. And so getting people into those facilities is really, really tough. And immigration issues have not been helping at all in that regard. So those that are having a lot of raids, a lot of their employees don't even want to show up for work because they're like, I don't want to risk it today. I'm going to sit this one out. Some of them are running skeleton crews. So yeah, it's a very interesting time for food companies right now. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity to bring on, and especially those of you that have the leadership experience. My clients, the person I was just talking to today, he's a president at a big meat and seafood company here. He said, "Oh, we want to round out our culture. We want it to be more collaborative. We want them to have more camaraderie. Like, I'm like, you need some vets. Like, you need some vets to help with that." And so I mean, I have already gotten the word out to, I don't know, 50 to 75 CEOs and COOs. Only one said this is not the right time for that. So I think it's just a really, really good opportunity. So we need to figure out where the need is the most, and then, run that by you all and figure out where you guys are all going to be.
Yeah, that's amazing. There's nothing like bring a vet on if you need teamwork. That is the one thing that a vet could do amazingly. We always talk about how we need to transition ourselves a little bit more to like saying I did this rather than we did this. So
Right.
teamwork is really instilled in all of us.
100%. Yeah.
Tim, you have a question?
Yes, I do. So, a little bit about me. I'm in the Air Force. I'm getting ready to retire. I've been in special operations my whole career, so came in, basically, I was technically 19 when I came in because I had to wait for just because of the way the pipeline is. I've gotten paid to play basically my whole career, skydive, scuba dive, ride dirt bikes, ATVs, all the fun things that people pay to do. Now I'm transitioning and I have to find a real job. So, trying to figure out, where my skills apply and how to correctly translate some of the attention to detail and the high risk things that I've done, where it's not reckless because like we mitigate and do all those things, and just how to translate that better into the civilian market.
Right. Well, so Tim, I was in NBC in the Marine Corps. So I'm like, okay, where the hell am I going to apply my experience gassing people, without it being Germany? And I'm kidding. So I'm right there with you. So I think instead of figuring out like where your skill set might fit into a box, a better approach is what do you enjoy? What are the skills that you want to utilize? And, what are those careers that could potentially fit your personality? So is it sales? Do you enjoy sales? Do you want to, be in a commission driven position that, the harder you work, the more money you might be able to make? Or do we want something that's kind of a 9 to 5 or, things like that? So I think a better approach when there's a lot of those jobs in the military, right, that are just not going to apply to the civilian world. So it's a matter of finding a good organization that fits kind of long term what you want to do and what fits your personality, if that makes sense. So I
Yep.
never knew that I was a salesperson until really I got into recruiting and learned that this really is a sales job, and there are a ton of assessments and personality tests, and there's a ton of things online too that you can take to just try to figure out, what is it that you think is going to help you long term
Yeah,
be
I appreciate it. Like I know I've shared it with the group here a few other times, but like everyone wants five things in their next career. They want to live where they work, whether that's travel or not travel. They want to love what they do. They want to love who they work with. They want to work reasonable hours and they want to make lots of money. Now out of those five, you're probably only going to get three, so prioritize those three.
Right.
Uh, and for me, a lot of the things I want to do don't pay the money, and money's not a top priority. Purpose is, but I still have a bottom line on the
What you
need
need to
to make
earn.
a start. Pardon me?
Right. What you need to earn just to pay the
Yep.
bills.
Because
Yeah.
we're a single income family. I've got six kids. Florida's expensive, so like a lot of my passion and stuff like doesn't pay the bills. So I'm trying to find the right balance of not hating my job, but also not, you know, making enough money.
Right. What the aspects of your job and what do you enjoy out of that? And what are the things that you're like, I wish I could do more of that?
Well, like when I was operational, I was always able to be outside doing fun things. And I would love to continue to like just be able to go hiking, skydiving, scuba diving, doing all those adventurous types of things. But that doesn't really pay the bills. So I'm looking at, operations where there's some computer work, but then you're also out doing something, seeing progress on something, not just, building Excel sheets and that kind of thing, project management and
I was
training
going to say, like getting into
facilitation.
some kind of project management and things like that.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep, thanks, Tim. John, you have a question?
Uh, yes. Hey, Deanna, this is John. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. I'm going through Red Kite Recruiting's website and looking at all the different job titles that are currently available all over the country, and a lot of them have like certain number of years in whatever food industry or poultry experience, beef experience, stuff like that. What kind of does that like create a barrier for us coming out of the military? Because we very few of us are ever going to have any type of exposure to that type of industry.
Right, right. So we're not, so those are those searches that we have with our current clients. And so how recruiting works is we get tapped to help hire a very specific skill set. And we charge anywhere from, 28 to 33% of that person's base salary. It's very, very difficult for us to try to place somebody in a company that needs to be trained and, and they're going to pay us for it. So those opportunities are going to be very hard for any of you to try, for us to try to place you into. That's why I think the skill bridge is great, where it's like, hey, you're going to do a 90-day or 12-week internship with this person, and then you get to evaluate like, hey, do we like you? Do you like us? And you get to train them. So we're offering a discounted fee for that for those companies. But yeah, we don't do entry level. We do pretty much manager and above on the recruiting side of things. So they need us to find, if I'm working with Tyson, for instance, and it is Tyson beef, they want somebody who's actually coming from one of their competitors and somebody who can hit the ground running if they're going to pay us. Otherwise, they can post those jobs online and they could try to find those individuals themselves. So it is very specific and it is very it's like tunnel vision. We have a search down in Texas right now, and it's in a cooked facility, and so they are making smoked meats, cooked meats, like think of brisket, things like that. And he won't even consider people from the meat industry who are coming from a fresh plant, so that they are just putting, chicken in tray packs. He's like, nope, they have to know my processes and whatnot. So he's like, if I'm going to pay you a $60,000 fee, they better have the experience that I need. So that's the beauty too of recruiting. You get to go find those individuals and develop those relationships, and then you make that perfect match. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question. But that gives you an idea of kind of the food positions that we fill on the recruiting side, but I don't think necessarily is going to be a good fit for some of the skill bridgers.
Cool. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, running into something similar on the finance field. They want, X number of years in banking experience or whatever. And coming out of the military, 24 years, and I'm like, I know of banks. So
What are
yeah,
you
kind of running the same thing over here. Was that
What do you do?
senior advisor, physical planning. That was my Air Force job for the last like 4 or 5 years.
Got it. Do you, and does finance interest you?
That's where I'm trying to go to. I'm in Charlotte right now. That's where I plan on, like, I bought a house. That's where I plan on staying.
Hmm.
I don't know if you have any positions open over here, but because a lot of the, I mean, yeah, I don't know if there's any
I
positions
guess
over in the Charlotte
I'm
area.
curious too, why, do you have relative finance experience, or just that is something that's always interested you?
It's always interested me. I've done a lot of, I have a bachelor's in accounting, um, finance background, a little bit of finance, but nothing like work experience wise. So whenever I got into a position where I was a senior advisor and had some physical planning, I got to do that stuff. And really, it was risk and compliance is where I'm really trying to go.
Hmm.
But that's, if I were to like narrow it in, it'd be a risk analysis on the
Got it.
finance side.
Yeah, and I think looking at those skill bridge, we do have a lot of clients down in North Carolina, and we work with Butterball, who's in Raleigh. But if you're in Charlotte, still a little bit of a hike.
It's a
But
bit of a hike.
yeah, so what we're trying to do.
Derek's closer.
Right. We built out a list of all of the, major um, bases, and if someone's staying there, and then we're kind of aggregating the data for where our clients are and where they have facilities. But I think like risk and compliance, there you don't necessarily need to have that experience in the food industry. You don't have to have that, but coming in and working under somebody for the skill bridge internship and like, hey, we're going to teach you this, and let you take it from there. So I don't think
Okay.
that an area that you necessarily need to have that industry experience, but just, if you have some smarts and you can prove that you can learn quickly, I think there's a lot of companies that would love that.
Excellent. Hey, thank you very much. I yield my time to Derek because he has his hand up.
No, that was a great question. Derek, you've been waiting a while. What's up?
I haven't been waiting that long. Hi, Deanna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So you said that you do things in different areas, right? You're talking about food service. Do you do anything in financial for John there? Is that something that you do? And what other kind of areas are you looking to recruit for, like currently, aside from the mechanical stuff that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, so it's funny though because the today the gentleman that's in Denver, he's like, I might come to you in the beginning of Q1 because I'm going to need to upgrade my finance person. And we started talking about SkillBridge, and I said, there's probably folks that are coming out of the military that have that. It's just general ledger looking at like this would be like a plant controller, so it's looking at the cost of goods that are coming in, the labor costs to produce it, and what's going out, and understanding what that looks like. So plant controllers are huge in the food industry, but outside of we do sales, marketing, finance, research and development, quality assurance, and we have two jobs right now for in Chicago. They're basically product managers, and what the product manager does is they are looking at it's a chicken company and like a $5 billion chicken company. They're looking at do they have the demand? So like they look at the demand and they look at the supply, right? So it's kind of a demand planning, but they're looking at what do we need to produce at the plant to make sure that these orders get fulfilled, and what is the profitability of each SKU. And so they're looking at that. It's definitely a numbers type of position, and then they'll go on those calls with the VP of sales. So if they have a Kroger sales call, they'll go on those calls and they'll say, hey, we have a private label chicken product that we want to put on the Kroger shelves. And so it's looking at like the profitability. So that's, could be marketing, it could be product management, but those are the kind of roles too that are at the corporate level, not just operators within some of the food facilities.
Wow, that's really cool. I just had one other question for you. You were speaking specifically of certain locations. I mean, obviously you probably rotate throughout the entire United States. How often are positions in major areas and major cities like available? And are you the one that's going to look for those positions in a sense?
Yeah, so we're putting that process together. But yeah, so like, Chicago, I have a ton of clients in Chicago, a ton of clients in big cities, but then we also have manufacturing plants all over the place. And, food also has a ton of facilities in the southern US. So that's also a big area. But those corporate headquarters could be Minneapolis, Chicago, Boston. So it could be in big cities, but we have clients literally all over the United States.
Have you ever heard of RTP in Raleigh, North Carolina?
No, I have not. What
Research Triangle Park. We're right here in the heart of everything. Duke University, North Carolina State, University of North Carolina, Wake Forest, and then Research Triangle Park. There's a lot of people that are moving to the state of North Carolina in waves, and they're coming straight to the capital, and they're coming straight to this Research Triangle Park like area
okay.
because of how much it's grown over the last 5 years. It's just insane. I was just saying that because I'm here and there's plenty of opportunities here for work and stuff like that. So it'd be great to get some more vets in this area.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that area too. We were between like a house on Lake Norman and we ended up coming here to Colorado. So that was an area that we were looking at, and it is growing like
It's such a
absolutely.
hard choice. Colorado or North Carolina, you must have been torn. I know I would have been. I mean, I looked at Colorado, but I wasn't a fan of the land, like the houses, the way the houses are built there. Just that's just my personal preference. But yeah, it's a growing area here. So you said, oh, I'm sorry. I was reading chat. But yeah, I was just curious. Do you have any opportunities in the state of North Carolina right now?
We have a lot of
Or
clients in North Carolina, and so we are still going through what does the process look like to get out correspondence to them of where are your needs, what do those needs look like. So as I said, everybody was like, "Yep, I need that." So now we're trying to figure out how to get the specific positions and the needs and what are they open for skill bridge interns. So absolutely, we'll have opportunities in North Carolina. Do I have anything at this very moment? I do not. But it is as we keep kind of going. How are
that's
all?
so awesome. I appreciate it. I just wanted to follow up by saying that Fayetteville is, right here too, and that's 82nd Airborne, one of the biggest Army bases with a lot of veteran opportunity there. So it'd be great
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk with you. I'm going to message you on LinkedIn here in just a
yeah.
minute, okay?
Everybody can message me on LinkedIn, and I'm also looking at our. Let me look at my list here real quick. We started putting together all of these. The plants and the companies. So by Fort Bragg, we have ADM, Boar's Head Meats, Butterball, House of Rayford Chicken, Mount Olive Pickles, Purdue Chicken, Pilgrim's Chicken, Simmons Foods, which is a big meat company, Smithfield Foods, Unilever has a plant, and Valari Food Group and Wayne Farms is another chicken company. So what we're doing is like taking the plants that are within like driving distance. So, those are if you are looking for X position, what we're doing is we're taking those companies that have the plants near a facility like Bragg, and then we'll reach out and say, hey, I have a gentleman who's coming out of Skillbridge looking for this. I have, someone who's looking for, X, Y, or Z. So it will be, I think, a couple of different prong approach, if you will, where it won't just be here's our jobs and whatnot. But yeah, reach out to me if you are near, when you know where you're going to be. And sorry, my computer just turned on my son's game, which is very, very funny. But yeah, so we'll definitely have, we're going to post those jobs too on the Seven Eagle website.
Yeah, great questions, Derek. Thank you. That explained your back. You were cutting out there for a minute, so your son's game loading up explains that.
Oh, yes, I was
You're
like, what is going on here?
you're back now, though. Hey Tim, what's up?
Good morning, ma'am. Thanks for coming on and talking with us.
Hi,
Did you
Tim.
happen to have anything potentially in Oklahoma? I know it's kind of rural out here.
Oklahoma actually has a lot of manufacturing as well. So are you going to be in like Oklahoma City?
Yes, ma'am. I'm actually about 20 minutes from OKC. And I sent you a message on LinkedIn also.
Okay, got it. Yeah, Lopez Foods and Dorada Foods, they make the burgers for McDonald's. So they are a huge company and they're a client of ours. And they did say that they had interest in SkillBridge. So once I get, what those are going to be, what are you doing in the Navy and what are you looking for?
I'm law enforcement in the Navy,
Okay,
looking at project management, maybe going back into law enforcement, risk management, physical security, security analyst type stuff,
got it.
non IT.
Got it. And I'm just trying to think if there's a need for those types of positions in food plants outside of security. So that's
And I also have a background in construction as well. I can do maintenance also, so kind of, well-rounded in that aspect of it.
awesome.
Chris, you can go ahead.
Hey, Chris. We lost
Maybe?
Chris.
Maybe he's trying to fix his mic. We'll give him just a second.
Oh,
He had to
Deanna.
check on his brisket.
Yeah, I'm here cooking brisket right now. So,
Love it.
I live in the San Antonio area though, so I was curious if you had like any insights to like plants or anything in the area for here.
Yeah, there's a couple of plants in San Antonio, and one of the ones that we have is in like New Braunfels.
Okay,
So
look here, man.
so not too far away. There's not a lot, but there are some facilities, and there's also I work with Flagstone Foods that is right across the street from the base in El Paso too. So, and that's like a nut company. So they make like trail mix. So they're basically filling up pouches for like your 100-calorie packs, things like that. So, she also told me that she would love, and they have a plant in the east side of the eastern part of North Carolina as well. So it's closer to the ocean. It's not by huge cities, but they have a plant out there as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll connect with you on LinkedIn and just get some options.
Awesome.
They got Moyoc over there and the OBX. They got some people out there on the east side of North Carolina.
They do. I'm trying to pull up I showed this to the last group and I just want to show it to you guys. Let me find this. I'm just going to share my screen. Oh, now it wants me to sign in. Hold on one sec. All right. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you guys all see this?
Yep.
So this plant manager. So in the manufacturing facility, these are the functions in manufacturing. So these are within the plant. These are at your corporate headquarters. So if, the company has other facilities, so you have the, QA is over the food safety, director of finance and accounting. Here you'll have a plant controller and a cost accountant and an accounting team. Usually this is a bigger team. Supply chain and logistics, I think, is a huge area if you are, doing warehouse management or, materials, things like that. This could be a great skill bridge. So I think there's great opportunities here for SkillBridge, opportunities here for SkillBridge. And so these are the operators. So you have the plant manager who manages the production managers or supervisors. So sometimes these are interchangeable. Each line has a production supervisor, and then you have operators that run that line. So this could be a great, and not only are these like great opportunities for growth, but plant managers, especially if you all have any degrees, but plant managers, some of my plant managers are making about 225,000 a year. Some junior ones are about 175,000 a year. So getting in with a company that grooms their individuals, and they start out on the floor maybe as a supervisor and then get groomed for those opportunities. Those are fantastic opportunities. Safety and safety supervisors, I think also could be an opportunity for skill bridgers. This is the OSHA safety on the floor, right? Making sure that people aren't falling and, that there are proper procedures we call it lockout tagout. So if you're in a plant and something goes down, making sure that all of the procedures have been followed to make sure that the machine completely stops before we go in there and start messing with it. And we do have a lot of accidents and injuries in the food manufacturing space because of, safety. Here's another one where this is the biggest opportunity for skill bridgers, but either starting as a tech or a supervisor and then moving up. So looking at if you have a wrench and you know how things work or you're willing to learn, and that's a huge area, and can move up into engineering. And then if any of you are using educational benefits and your GI Bill going into school for engineering, these are also huge, huge needs right now in manufacturing, because the engineers are looking at how the plants are, how everything is set up within the plant. So it's like, hey, do we want to move this machine over here? Could we improve the output, throughput, OEE if we just rearrange things? How do the machines talk to each other? Things along that line. And then these are also the ones that are also implementing a lot of AI right now. So if that's of interest, that's a big area. And then we have HR at the plant. So HR at the plant is dealing with safety and with all of the hiring of these individuals. So they're dealing with, labor relations, just culture, benefits, things like that. And then they report up to HR. But you can see there's a dotted line up to corporate, but the plant manager manages this whole team. So any questions on this? Does this kind of help you guys kind of understand what what a plant looks like in food?
That definitely helped me visualize how it was and what the growth looked like. Because that was one of my questions as well, and what the growth looks like in all of those companies. So that really helps me. I'll let John go on. I'm sure he has something to say about it.
Thank you, Kylie, and thank you, Deanna, for coming on with us today.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the safety manager and safety supervisor, and I'm comparing it to what I did on the ship, and I just wanted to make sure that the translation is correct. So when I was on the ship, I did supervise the tag out program and made sure that technicians were properly tagging out and powering down and gear and things like that. Does that translate well to the positions described in this organization chart?
Absolutely, absolutely. The only thing that you would want to have some additional training on is an OSHA certification. So there's a lot of certifications in, OSHA, and having an understanding. This also stands for EHS. So that's environmental health and safety. So this area also manages the environmental. So if you have a beef slaughter facility and you are slaughtering animals, basically you slice their necks after they're dead and they bleed out, where does that blood go? It's collecting, and it's called rendering. It's collecting in a vat that, they make like dog treats and they use that for different areas, but they're running water. So that water is it has chemicals and blood in it that's going to go into the environment. Is it, what's going into the air? So that is another aspect of that. And a lot of times people get into safety as just the safety manager for, over OSHA, but end up getting into environmental. So every plant has to adhere to a set of standards that are, friendly with the environment. So there's another area there. But if you understand tag out and safety, it's just getting a certification for OSHA. A lot of those companies will pay for that. Like, hey, I'll learn that. And so you come in as an intern with that safety manager and off to the races you go. But a lot of times they don't hire at OSHA certified, but they will pay for somebody to get OSHA certified.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A lot of people in this room too, if you have the time to use your Air Force cool or your Army cool or whatever your branch has, you have time. I know we talked about it yesterday. You might have time to get one of the certifications that you need or you want for the future. So look into that so you don't need to break into your GI Bill, and you can tell the company when Deanna has an opening, you can say, I'm already working on it. The Air Force or the Army is already paying for it. So that's going to be a really great quality to have. I guess
Yeah.
there's Navy cool as well. So look into
Yeah.
that if you have a couple months left in your contract. Because that'd be amazing to have it before you go in. They're gonna love it even more if they don't have to pay for it.
Any other questions on this?
Any more questions? We're gonna wrap it up here, guys. We have time for like one more question if somebody has it, but if not, I'll give everybody a second. Okay. Doesn't look like there's any more. I'm sure you're gonna have a bunch of connects after this, Deanna. Thank you so much for coming on and explaining the process, making it a little more clear. I'm super excited to hear about all the jobs upcoming in a couple days on Veterans Day. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, guys, and good luck and hoorah.
Yeah, talk to you soon. See you later, Deanna.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody, that was amazing. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it sounds like Deanna could have a spot for possibly everybody in here. So there is going to be more with her and Red Kite, so keep a lookout. I'm gonna keep repping it whenever I come on, but what is Veterans Day on Tuesday, right? Yeah. So on Tuesday, we should have some exciting news, hopefully. So for this last,
We've
oh,
got Tuesday off, right?
I should know
So
that.
I'll find out on Wednesday.
We do. Tuesday is an off day, you guys. Tuesday is an off day. We're all veterans here.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Can we
Derek's
do it
doing
like
that. I
4
had no
o'clock and
idea.
get Monday and Tuesday off? Make
No,
a
negative.
calendar?
No.
All right, you're not in the
No.
Air Force anymore. No 4-day
No.
weekends for you.
4-day weekends. Is that what they used to do in the Air Force? Oh
It's
man, what is that
It's
like?
SOCOM's
What is
policy.
that?
Every
yeah,
month
we
you get a 4-day.
work smarter, not harder. Don't hate on it. But okay, so for the last 15 minutes, I have Brian Arrington here. Are you in here, Brian?
Yeah, it's Brian Arrington.
So sorry.
It's okay.
So sorry for the miscommunication. Thank you for fitting in here the last couple of minutes. So everyone, this is Brian Arrington. He is Arrington. Oh my goodness. He is the founder and CEO of Arrington Consulting.